Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG, located on the north spawn of Steps. This one is under the command of Mr. Impact. I wonder what sort of impact he's going to make on this game. Okay, run away. Now, as we may have mentioned before, we are doing some old replays at the moment. This one's from March of 2018. And back then, it was much easier for Arty to pen targets because, of course, Wargaming has been silently nerfing Arty all the time over the years. This time round in 1.13, they decided to go all out and completely neuter Arty to make it impossible to play. I mean, some people are still playing Arty, but they're finding they're getting a lot less damage than they ever did before. Okay, well, you can see Mr. Impact is aiming down the other end of the battlefield, but he's found his first target, which is a Covenanter. Oh, wipes it out with one shot. And that must have been a penetrating round because 340 was the damage he did. 410 is the Alpha. Now, you only get 42 rounds of ammunition with the PP back then. It's 50 now, but you have to be very careful. In fact, it looks like he's actually loading the heat, trying to take out this Panzer IV. That was the heat round. Now, the heat rounds are rather expensive, so I hope he doesn't fire too many, because otherwise he might find that he's not going to end up with much in the way of credits at the end of the game. That was another heat round that hit the ground, making very expensive holes. Well, he's found himself in a tier 6 game, and he was looking at a T-37. Now he's aiming at a SAV M43. Now, that's a tier 4 Swedish tank destroyer. Rounds out. And he just hit it with a AP round and took it out. Mind you, it's a 105mm AP round, so pretty powerful. Rounds out. Nope, that's just made a hole in the ground. And now he's out of AP rounds, so he's gone back to the HE. I used to load my R2 mostly with HE. A couple of rounds of heat, just in case I came across a heavy tank who wanted to hit me directly. It was getting too close for comfort. Okay, T-37's not moving much, but well, this VK-3002M. We didn't see where that last shot fell, but we'll see this one. Rounds out. Long flight time for the shell because it's going from one end of the battlefield to the other. It's about 3-second delay. Rounds out. He's tracked. And that must have landed right next door to him, but we've lost sight of him now, so we don't know if that hit. And he's fired around and then immediately gone over to the other side of the battlefield. Okay, he's dialing in. Let it dial in and settle before you shoot. He's not doing that, and that's why he's not getting accurate shots. If you don't let it dial in, you won't get accurate hits on the enemy. Rounds out. That looks better. Unfortunately, the target pulled back before he could get the kill. M3 Lee. This should be a bit better. Yep, that's a direct hit for 166. He's going for that Panzer IV again and pulls away immediately after firing. We don't know if he hit the target there, you see. It's so annoying. If you can't see where the shell falls, you've no idea if you actually hit it or not. Well, he's fired a shot at the M3 and it's a blind shot. Now he's gone back to the heat rounds again. Heat rounds can be very nice, but for the fact that you have to get a direct hit in order for them to work. And you can only get that if you dial in fully on the enemy. And of course he's not letting it dial in. Let's hope he does. T-37's still moving about. He's loaded a heat round. He can just about make the outline of the KV-1. Rounds out. He moves forward. And it hits the tracks of the KV-1, tracks him. And he is getting some assistance. And that one just landed in front of the KV-1. So he's blowing through the ammunition very quickly, and he pulls away before we see what happened to that round. Now going for the VK3002. M rounds out. That might be a hit. Nope. Again, he misjudged the amount of bleed on the target. Fires a blind shot there. Nope. Doesn't get anything off that. Well, the enemy Arty's been spotted over in the corner. His team's not doing very well at the moment because he's 3 down. And he's not getting that many kills. He's only got 2 so far. Oh, now we just saw the tracer coming out of the enemy Arty, which is an SU-122A. He's firing blind, and he got him! He used the mini-map to work out where to put the shell and saw the tracer. Okay, so 3 kills now. Now let's see if HE does better on this KV-1. Yeah, it does. 79 hit points. And the kill shot goes to the Hetzer. Now we've got an enemy Cromwell B coming in on the west side of the map. Mind you, we've got a Hetzer, an M8A1 and a Stug 3G before them. Going for the Hetzer on the enemy team. That's a direct hit for 141. What was it they said about Hetzers? Steel coffins. Very cramped steel coffins at that. If you've ever seen one up close, you wonder how they managed to cram 4 people inside it and all the machinery that went with a Hetzer. Oh my gum, look at this. There's a large number of enemy tanks coming in. Fires around at the Matilda, misses. Trying to lead the shots. Rounds out. Misses it again. He's down to 13 rounds now. There's still 2 tanks down. Fires at the Cromwell B. This time he gets a kill. Took the guy out. Must have been a penetrating round to do that. We're only 1 tank down on the enemy now. Most of the enemy tanks appear to be on the west side of the map. There's one over on the other side. It's that VK. Ah, we saw a tree go down. So somebody happens to be there. But he's only got 12 rounds left. So I wouldn't take any blind shots at the moment. I'd wait until you can see a clear target. The Panzer IV Ausrung H is actually coming up the centre. He's managed to sneak in, but he's hiding behind that ridgeline at the moment. That was a, well, I suppose it was a guesstimated shot. And we just can't see the enemy tanks over in that corner at the moment, so not worth shooting. If you're wondering about the skin, by the way, it was designed by Sir Rusty. He does the most of the skins for What Arty Noobs. And he made this one, especially in the French tricolour. And put the name on the side of the vehicle. No enemy in sight. Ah, the Panzer IV is up on the ridgeline now. Headed towards the cap. Can we get a shot? Direct hit, 118. He's looking in our direction. Now, can we get another shot on target? We're right up against the edge of the map, and there's also, we're on a bank, so it's actually fairly difficult to shoot up over the bank. And oh, we can now see the Hetzer from the enemy team. And the Panzer IV is getting rather close. And he just gets popped by the VK3001P. So we're now going for the Hetzer. Rounds out. Pulls away before he sees if that shell landed. There's still 4 enemy tanks out there. Oh, that was a direct hit. Come on. Show yourself. His teammates are fanning out. They're going to try and find it. There's the OI. He's gone behind the house. He's backing up. He might come around the corner to try and get a shot. Yes, it looks like he has. And that was another direct hit. Fired another one in. That was another direct hit. He's used up all his heat rounds now. Okay, the Hetzer's coming in. That was a kill. Took out the Hetzer. Now, can he get the VK3002M with one shot? He probably can. Letting it dial in, rounds out. Yes! That's his top gun. So there's only 2 enemies left, and he's only got 1 partner left. So it's 2 versus 2. There's an OI experimental and, of course, the Matilda. And the Matilda's very low on hit points. And we don't know. Oh, we can see now how much the OI has, and he's low as well. But the Matilda's the lowest by far. Well, he's got 3 rounds left to kill these last 2 tanks. Can he do it? Rounds out. Yes! That's his 7th kill. Now he just needs to kill this OI experimental. He's got 2 rounds to do it. Oh, he fluffed it! He's got 1 round left. Can he kill the OI with 1 round? The VK's getting into a position. He fires it into the side and kills the OI with his last round of ammunition and wins the game. Well, Mr. Impact had a big impact on that battle because he got an ace tanker. Was it a tier 7 game? I think it was actually a tier 6 game. But he managed to get an ace tanker in that game. Not much of a surprise when you consider he also got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 15. A Gauze medal for doing more damage than 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle. He managed to kill the last enemy with the last round in the magazine. That's a Faden's medal. You got a Radley Walters for getting 8 kills, because that last kill was the 8th one. A High Caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. And I was criticising him because he was doing far too many snapshots, but I think towards the end of the game he was actually getting his shots right. He was letting it dial in, and then he was getting accurate hits, and it was hits that count as well, because these enemies had very low hit points towards the end of the game. Let's have a look at the team scores and see where he is. Well, we can see he managed to get 2,281 hit points of damage. The next high score was the VK3001P with 1,452. And the next one, the third place man, was the Cromwell B on the enemy team with 1,213. When it came to kills, it was Mr. Impact with 8 kills. 2 kills went to the M8A1 and Jagdpanzer on his own team. And also the Panzer IV Ausrung H, the OI Experimental, the SU-122A and the KV-1 on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, he's got the top in that one as well, so top in all 3 columns. 1,053 went to Mr. Impact, 811 went to the VK3001 MP, and 528 went to the Jagdpanzer. In fact, I think that's the Jagdpanzer 38T Hetzer, actually not a proper Jagdpanzer. Anyway, let's have a look at detail. 42 shots fired, every round in this magazine expended, 20 direct hits on the enemy, 15 penetrations. Again, it goes to say what I said earlier in the other replays, that it was much easier to get penetration shots back 3 years ago. Wargaming's been silently nerfing Arty to make it virtually impossible for you to get penetrations, so you can't get high rolls or low rolls. The most you're going to get is a small amount of damage, and so they've been neutering Arty, and now they've neutered Arty altogether and made it virtually impossible to play. But people are still persisting to play it. At least that's one thing in our favour. But the thing is that I'm afraid they're going to drive a lot of players away from Arty simply because they just don't like the new format. He managed to get 2,281 hit points of damage, of which 2,010 were at more than 300 meters. Damaged 13 of the enemy, killed 8. So there was only 2 enemy tanks he didn't hit during that game. And he got 14 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he earned 49,778 credits. And after resupply of ammunition, and yes, he did spend a lot of money on heat rounds, and in fact made very expensive holes in the ground, but he came out ahead with 13,450 credits from the game. 1,580 XP, 948 from personal missions payout, and 632 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 3,160 experience points altogether. So a very good game there from Mr. Impact. Nice to see a Faden's medal pop up. It's not as rare as some community contributors stroke content creators would have you believe. Yes, Mr. Jingles, we do get Faden's. Arty gets Faden's quite often actually, especially if you play the right Arty. And we also get lots of Raiders Invaders medals as well, because obviously we're very sneaky players, and we like to sneak into the enemy's camp whilst they're not looking and win the game that way. So I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please give it a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.